The expanded format makes older sets all the way back from 2011 to the present day legal for play. This can make for some insane decks and crazy combos. However, currently on TCG Live, only sets from Sun and Moon and forward are legal for play, and the TCG Live community has been waiting for 3 years for cards from older set blocks like X and Y and Black and White to become playable, which TCPI promised when TCG Live was first released back in 2021 in its beta. In this video, I'm going to break down what I think are the top 10 best decks to play in the expanded beta format on TCG Live, so you can get tons of battle XP and level up in the battle pass super quickly. So if you're completely new to TCG Live, just wanting to explore the game, or you are wanting to try something different, this video is for you. For most of the lists I'll show in this video, I'll put a video link up on the screen when I get to them, so you can see some of the gameplay with the respective decks. If you are looking for a particular deck you want to copy and paste into TCG Live, I have left timestamps down in the description to make your life easier, and I'll leave the deck list down in the description so you can copy and paste it into TCG Live. If you notice any changes that you would want to make to any of these decks, then feel free to do so. With that being said, let's get into the number 10 spot of the best decks to use in the expanded beta format on TCG Live. Volcarona V slides into the number 10 spot of the best decks to use in TCG Live, as it's very easy to play and doesn't break your trainer credit balance when trying to craft all the cards from scratch at base rarity, costing you only 7,450 credits to obtain in total. The game plan behind this deck is to basically go second if you win the coin flip, so you can attack on your first turn and then get as many of your 20 fire energy from your deck into your discard pile, so you can use Surging Flames to do 20 damage plus 20 more damage for each energy in your discard pile, and then you shuffle them back into your deck and then repeat the process. You can discard fire energy over and over again with the likes of Zeb Striker with the sprint ability, Fiery Flint, Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, Giant Half, and Heat Factory Prism Stadiums, Professor's Research as well, and the Den AGX. This deck is honestly super aggressive, and I found it very often that you can donk your opponent on the first turn, or just take huge knockouts every single turn, which is mental. If you're curious to see how this deck plays, then go check out the linked video in the top right of your screen. With that being said, let's go to the number 9 spot. Rotom VSTAR comes in at number 9 simply because it's yet another super aggressive deck that can basically one-hit KO anything in the game. Both Rotom V and VSTAR have very similar attacks that do plus 40 more damage for each tool you put from your discard pile into the lost zone. So we play 21 tool cards in the deck to help us achieve this, and we can get these tool cards into the discard easily by using the Den AGX, Squawkabilly EX, Professor's Research, Quick Ball and Ultra Ball, Rotom V-Star's V-Star Power Conversion Star, which allows you to discard as many cards as you like from your hand and then draw that many cards, as well as the ultimate secret source in my opinion, Secret Box A-Spec. It's also not unheard of for Rotom V to get donks on your opponents too, because we can easily power it up by attaching an energy for turn and then getting Thunder Mountain Prism Star Stadium into play with the likes of Forest Sealstone, or just drawing into it with our previously mentioned crazy draw engine. Obviously this deck wants to go second to achieve this donk ability. Anyway, this deck struggles against single prize attacking decks and any fighting type deck as it's fighting weak, so that's why it's at number 9 for me. But if you want to see the gameplay for this deck, go and check out this video in the top right corner of your screen. With that being said, let's go and see what has earned the 8th spot. Ceruledge EX is not only good in the standard format right now, but it's an absolute powerhouse in the expanded format, with it being very similar to 10th place Volcarona V. This deck can opt to go second thanks to the likes of Salvatore evolving straight into Ceruledge EX from Charcadet on the first turn, but you're probably better off setting up and getting many energy into the discard pile to fuel Ceruledge's attack Abyssal Flames, which does 30 damage plus 20 more damage for each energy in your discard pile. So we can play cards like the Den GX, Squawkabilly EX, Radiant Greninja, Quick Ball, Ultra Ball, Fiery Flint, Heat Factory Prism Stadium, Giant Half Stadium to get as many of our 17 energy cards in the discard pile as possible, minus a couple of those energy to attach to Ceruledge so we can attack. This deck is honestly so insane when it gets going, but it does require that crucial setup turn to get going, which is why I've put it at number 8. Although if you're curious about how this deck plays, go and check out the link video in the top right corner of your screen, but let's go and move on to number 7. Pikarom has to be one of my favourite decks of all time, and to make me even happier about it, the deck is honestly super broken in the expanded beta format, having tons of Pokemon and trainer support alike. The game plan with the deck is to go second so we can power up Pikarom's full blitz attack so we can do 150 damage and then accelerate free lightning energy from our deck to one of our Pokemon. I have managed to power up Pikarom's GX attack on the first turn, Tag Bolt GX, for 6 energy, which allows you to do 200 damage and then 170 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So you can easily take multiple prizes in a turn, so 3, 4 or 5 prizes is very common in this current format, which is super awesome. We can easily power up these attacks thanks to Tapu Koko Prism Star and Electricity Generator, and we have an insane draw support in the form of the Den GX and Crobat V, and some other support Pokemon like Zeraora GX to give all our Pokemon with a lightning energy attached to them free retreat cost. Miraidon EX to set up our board state with Tandem Unit and its massive Photon Blaster attack for 220 damage. Vikavolt V has an insane item lock attack for 2 energy as well. Raichu and Alolan Raichu GX is a good backup attacker if you need to paralyze your opponent and to save time, and it can easily be switched in and out of the active to do this with this deck, which is absolutely awesome. Lightning Pokemon can do more damage thanks to Electro Power, which does 30 damage more during the turn that it's played, and it can stack, so if you play 2 in a turn you can do 60 more damage and so on. Lightning Pokemon's attacks can cost 1 energy less thanks to Thunder Mountain Prism Star, which makes it easier to attack. It's just really good. This deck unfortunately struggles against any fighting deck again, as it's fighting weak, and Pikarom is often seen as an easy free prizes these days, as it only has 240 HP, but its 2 insane attacks surely make up for it. You can see the gameplay in the top corner of your screen now, but with that being said, let's move on to the number 6 spot now. Yet another lightning type deck coming in at number 6 with Miraidon EX. This deck is easily capable of one-hit KOing anything in the game right now, just like any other expanded beta deck that I've pretty much mentioned in this video so far. But the premise of this deck is similar to Pikarom in 7th place, by which you just power up your Miraidon EX with Tapu Koko Prism and Electricity Generator, and then boost the damage that Photon Blaster does by playing Electro Power and Regidrago VMAX this time, which both allow lightning Pokemon in play to do 30 more damage, and then Oko your opponent's Pokemon, and then the turn after, because Photon Blaster means that you can't attack during your next turn, you just switch Miraidon EX from the bench from the active to the bench and then back into the active spot, or if you have 2 Miraidon in play, you can just switch between them both. It's absolutely insane. You obviously have some support Pokemon in the form of Vikavolt V and Zeraora GX, as previously mentioned. You can find the gameplay in the top right corner of your screen now, as always. Let's move on to the number 5 spot. We're getting down this list now, let's go. We are now halfway down this list of absolutely insane decks in this weird limited expanded format, but coming in at number 5 is ADPZ. This was one of the most hated decks to come up against in the standard format a few years ago, and I doubt much has changed since it's gained access to a much wider card pool in expanded beta. For those who don't know, ADP has a GX attack which for 1 water and 1 metal energy attachment, which can easily be powered up by Crispin or energy switches from Zacian thanks to Metal Saucer, you can do 30 more damage and take an extra prize card for every KO you take for the rest of the game. So when you pair this with its normal attack, Ultimate Ray, you can do 180 damage and KO a low HP 2 prize Pokemon like Crobat V, the Dene GX or Squawkabilly EX, and then accelerate 3 energy from your deck to your benched Zacian V, take 3 prizes, and then it's pretty much game over, GG, well played, it's time to slip mate, after your opponent's turn. Do you see where I'm going with this when I say everyone hates this deck? You would think that this must be the most toxic and best deck in the format. Just wait until we reach the number 1 spot, but let's go and get into the number 4 spot. Coming in at number 4 is Lugia VSTAR. Being able to power up any attack with Archeops is honestly broken, as all of you watching by now have seen in the standard format, but in expanded there are obviously a bunch more opportunities and alleyways you can go down with this deck, having access to broken energy cards like Aurora Energy and Rainbow Energy, which both provide 1 type of every kind of energy in the game when attached to a Pokemon. Double Colorless Energy, which is basically double Turbo Energy without the damage reduction downside, and Powerful Colorless Energy, which allows Colorless Pokemon, aka Lugia VSTAR, to do 20 more damage. But what about the attackers in the deck? Well, we know Lugia VSTAR's Tempest Dive attack is a solid one, but in this deck we can play the likes of Amazing Rare Raichu, which does 120 damage to the active and then 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Amazing Rare Yveltal, which has an attack that can basically just KO your opponent's active Pokemon. Blissey V, doing more damage for each energy attack to this Pokemon, and of course, how could I forget the 3 legendary birds, Moltres, Zapdos and Articuno GX, which allows you to shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck and then do 110 damage to 3 of your opponent's Pokemon. That's a GX attack, by the way. This deck is honestly so versatile as it can adapt to any matchup pretty much. Unfortunately, I don't have any video on my channel yet showcasing this deck, so if you want to see that become a reality, make sure to subscribe with the notification bell on so you don't miss another one of my videos. With that being said, let's go and move on to the bronze medal, the 3rd place deck. Regidrago VSTAR comes in at number 3 for me, as it has to be one of my favourite decks to play in all the formats like standard, expanded beta and full expanded format for that fact, and it's for good reason too, as it can use any attack of your dragon Pokemon in the discard pile thanks to Apex Dragon. So obviously there are so many broken dragon Pokemon with broken attacks in the expanded beta format, like Dialga GX to take another turn with Timeless GX, as well as doing 150 damage, Giratina VSTAR for big one-hit KOs, Duraludon VMAX, Noivern GX for item and special energy lock attacks, Dragapult EX for spreading damage around the board, Hisuian Gudra VSTAR to tank our way to the win with Rolling Iron, and finally Kyurem with the Trifrost attack that can take multiple prizes on low HP Pokemon. We can power up the Apex Dragon attack cost of 2 grass and 1 fire energy with Teal Mask Ogerpon and the Teal Lance ability, along with Energy Switch. This deck is honestly so fun to play, I love it, so I highly recommend you go check out the gameplay on this deck in the top right hand corner of your screen. But with that being said, let's go and get into the runner-up deck, the second place deck. Let's go. The runner-up deck in this expanded beta showcase video is Mew VMAX, being able to copy any of your Fusion Strike Pokemon attacks like Genesect V's Techno Blast attack with Cross Fusion Strike is absolutely mental, and having no retreat cost to just recycle this attack over and over again turn after turn is absolutely insane. You can boost the attack damage this does with Power Tablet, which makes it super insane, and Genesect V also has a ability, Fusion Strike System, which allows you to draw as many cards as you have Fusion Strike Pokemon in play, which makes it a super turbo deck. Not to mention, the other strategy with this deck is to use Meloetta's Melodious Echo attack, which does 70 damage for each Fusion Strike energy you have in play, and yeah, just being able to get them into play with Elisa's Sparkle is beyond broken. And yeah, you can copy that again with Cross Fusion Strike on Mew VMAX, and yeah, it's just super broken, and I love it. It's such a good deck. But with that, so you can go and see the gameplay in the top right hand corner of your screen. You should know that by now. Anyway, let's go and get into the first place deck, the best deck to play on TCG Live Expanded Beta. Finally, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. The number one deck in the expanded beta format on TCG Live right now goes to Alolan Raichu spread. The game plan behind this deck is to go second and use Gengar Mimikyu Tag Team GX's Horror House GX attack, so your opponent can't play any cards from their hand next turn after you've set up your Pikachus and Voltorbs alike, as well as chucking away your special energies like Counter Energy, Reversal Energy and Unit Energy into the discard pile. Hopefully your opponent didn't bench too many high HP Pokemon on their first turn, as they are now being forced to pass their turn back to you thanks to Horror House GX. Now that it's your turn again, you should be able to evolve into Electro GX Alolan Raichu. You see, Electro GX has an ability by which you can put up to 5 energy from your discard pile onto your Pokemon in any way you like, and if you do so, it's knocked out and your opponent takes 2 prize cards for it. So we can use this ability twice on 2 different Electro GX, so your opponent doesn't take all their prize cards, so basically they don't win, which is like normal, lol. And basically you can get 10 energy onto your Alolan Raichu. So now that you have an Alolan Raichu powered up, you can use its Electro Rain attack, which allows you to discard as many energy as you like from this Pokemon and do 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy you discarded. Please bear in mind, energy cards like Counter Energy and Reversal Energy that you play in a deck provide 2 or 3 energy at a time respectively, as you are now behind on prize cards thanks to that Electro GX knockout, so you can do up to 90 damage per energy card you discard from your Alolan Raichu, which is absolutely insane. So now you're basically able to board wipe your opponent and either take all your prize cards in a single turn, or your opponent just has no Pokemon left in play to fight with, so you just take the W. This deck is not only the best deck in the format right now, it is also quite hard to explain how to play it, so I do really recommend checking out this video in the top right corner of your screen, so you can, you know, get loads of wins, loads of XP and level up in the battle pass super quickly. So yeah, such a good deck. Let's go. So that's my top 10 decks in the expanded beta format. Did I miss any decks? Let me know in the comments. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe for more expanded content in the future, as it's something I'm really passionate about. But yeah, make sure to check out this amazing expanded beta deck on your screen right now. But until next time, stay strategic everyone. See ya.